Just wanted to follow up a little bit yesterday's video with something more about polling in respect to the presidential campaign. Rasmussen put out some data yesterday, which I thought was quite startling and very different than what one would expect. In addition to its, as I mentioned in my previous video, the rating of 49 approval for Trump and 49 disapproval, they published a table of the breakdown of the respondents among the 1,500 likely voters in the sample and how they kind of spread out demographically, and it was rather amazing. So I'll try to show you what this is, and then we'll take it from there. So if you'll take a look at this file here, you'll see that we have the total approval rating here. If you look at strong approve and strong disapprove, and below you'll have total. Let's just focus on that for the moment. You have 49 to 49 approve and disapprove. They have a breakout by party identification. So you've got your Republicans, Democrats, and Independents. And so, as you can see, you have 81% support between GOP people, but actually 27 among Democrats. That's a bit surprising, and 41 with independents. And there's disapproval. And now it really gets very interesting. We go over to gender, men and women, we'll see that it's almost 50-50. And weirdly enough, women somewhat more supporting than men. And that's totally against the common perception in the media, which says there's a big gender gap of women opposing Trump. It's a very surprising result to me. I mean, while I don't know if I agree that the gender gap is as big as the media likes to tout, I still think there is one. But here we're showing no. Now let's go to race. Other presumably is mostly Latino and Asian, I guess. But white and black are almost equal, 48 and 49. Actually, a little bit more black support, and actually the others are higher at 57. This is completely against the all mainstream thinking. So, given that situation, we have to kind of wonder what's going on here. I mean, this is a fairly reputable polling organization, and although it historically, it tends to track a little bit more pro-Republican than most of the mainstream polls, nonetheless, it does have a credible reputation, particularly on how well they did in the 2016 election. So looking at those numbers, I think that's a surprising outcome. Now, one thing to consider is, of course, the African-American population is around 13-14% of total, something in that range now, and the Latino is in that range also, a little bit higher, I believe now. But the point is that still is less than a third, probably, the total vote. So your other and the white vote are very significant. Well, the white vote is a very significant portion. However, it's roughly tied. So if you add these strange results in there, it might give you an idea as to why the Democrats are going completely bonkers right now with all their racial invective and so forth. If they really believe that they're on the verge of losing anything like that percent of the black vote, they would be in a state of panic. And so we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I think this is a rather novel outcome, but like I said, this is something to take into account as we look at the ongoing presidential race.